Welcome back to the channel, another segment of Brian Reads the News. My name is Brian Kingsbury. I run an online clothing store, but I like to do these Brian Reads the News segments to let you guys know what's going on in the world. We take a news article I find online, take it from my mouth to your ears, let you know what's going on. Today we're doing a continuation of an article I've been working through. It's the most devastating final words actors said to their co-stars. I've done a few of these videos and they've gone over pretty well. You guys enjoy reading them, so I figured I'd continue on with this article. Let's see where we left off. So it looks like the last actress we left off with was Olympia Dukakis, and she got her final words from Cher. You can read that in the last article I did, the last news article. But let's continue on and see who is next. Up next, in the most devastating final words actors said to their co-stars, we have Mr. Sean Connery. Let's see what they got to say about old Sean Connery. It says here, no one can deny Sean Connery's impact on cinema. The long-standing James Bond actor's monumental career spanned almost half a century. He collected plenty of awards and acclaim while performing in numerous beloved films including Highlander, The Hunt for Red October, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The celebrated actor retired in the mid-2000s, turning down substantial roles in both the Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter franchises. Thankfully, Connery reportedly enjoyed retirement until his fateful passing in October 2020 at the age of 90. Wow, he made it to 90 years old. That's amazing. Connery's legacy made a lasting impression on many performers, notably Andy Garcia, who co-starred with Connery in The Untouchables, wrote an article for The Hollywood Reporter to remember the legend's days after his passing. Garcia, whose own filmography includes Ocean's 11, Internal Affairs, and The Godfather Part 3, called Connery his inspiration for becoming an actor. Regrettably, Garcia notes that it pains him that he had not seen his co-star and hero for many years before Connery passed, despite an open invitation. Quote, "We'd had a cocktail or two, and it was a beautiful thing," Garcia said about his last chat with Connery in 2009. "He lived in the Bahamas," he said. "Come to Nassau. We'll play some golf." I thought to myself, yeah, I gotta do that. I never did. It's a regret I have. Yeah, and an invitation from Sean Connery to come out to the Bahamas and play golf, and Andy Garcia never took him up on it. I'm sure that's definitely a regret. At least they had a nice last chat and a cocktail or two. Hopefully they made peace with each other before his passing, and he won't regret it too much. But just a reminder, you gotta visit those people before they pass in their final years of life. When we get up to those 90 years old, it doesn't go much after that, so get out there and spend some time with them. Up next, in the most devastating final words actors said to their co-stars, is Mr. John Lennon. There he is, look at him in all his glory. John Lennon is overwhelmingly best recognized as a musical sensation, especially as one-fourth of the Beatles. For the majority of the 1960s, Lennon and his bandmates reigned supreme over the music charts, becoming the most influential music group of all time. What some fans may not realize is that the Beatles briefly parlayed their fame into Hollywood stardom. During the height of Beatlemania, the legendary rock group top-lined 2 comedy films, A Hard Day's Night and Help, and they almost starred in their own version of Lord of the Rings. Alas, everyone knows that the rock group endured a public falling out centered around disagreements between Lennon and Paul McCartney. The Beatles separated in 1970, 10 years before John Lennon was murdered outside his Manhattan apartment. McCartney has openly admitted that he was heartbroken that he could never fix things with his old friend. Quote, "I do feel it was sad that we never actually sat down and straightened our differences out," the Beatles said in an interview with Playboy. "But unfortunately for me, the last phone conversation I ever had with him was really great. Devastatingly, their last interaction was a positive experience, spelling potential for a possible reunion. Quote, it was just a very happy conversation about his family, my family, enjoying his life very much. Sean was a very big part of it and thinking about getting on with his career." So that's interesting. The final conversation between John Lennon and Paul McCartney, where they were discussing a possible reunion. I guess super bands like that often talk about the reuniting, and this time obviously it didn't happen because he was murdered outside his Manhattan apartment. But yeah, it could have been something great should they made that reunion, but wasn't meant to be. At least they had a positive last interaction, and hopefully they settled things before his passing. Up next, in the most devastating final words actors said to their co-stars, is Mr. Leslie Jordan. A personality larger than the characters that he portrayed on television, Leslie Jordan was a beloved celebrity until his unexpected death in October of 2022. Small in stature and speaking with a thick southern drawl, Jordan was easily recognizable in his on-screen appearances. Some of his most notable work includes appearances on American Horror Story franchise, a recurring role on Boston Legal, an Emmy Award-winning guest spot on the NBC sitcom Will and Grace, and the show he co-starred on at the time of his death, Call Me Kat. The performer gained significant social media following thanks to his comedic posts during the COVID-19 pandemic. Jordan's passing at the age of 67 shocked his fans, friends, and co-stars. Actor Max Greenfield, best known for the sitcom New Girl, shared a long friendship with Jordan after the pair met on the set of Will and Grace in 2017. Greenfield missed his last opportunity to see his former co-star just days before Jordan died. In an interview with E! News, Greenfield explained that Jordan attempted to visit him during a book signing. Quote, "He tried to get in, but the event was sold out and they didn't let him in," said Greenfield. "He texted me he was like, I tried to get in, I saw that you were so famous, they wouldn't let me in. They turned my little A away." By little A, they mean little ass. Yeah, 67, that's not very long. He's still a pretty young, relatively young man. I thought he would be a little bit older than that. I do remember him from his time on Will and Grace, at least. That was the one that I watched a lot of, and he was obviously funny in that show. And he always had a presence on screen with his southern accent. I guess it's nice that they made the attempt to go see him in his final days, and he was just too big of a star, was too packed at his book signing that he was unable to get in and say hello, but he went for it at least. That's all you can ask for sometimes. I think I'm going to call this the end to this segment of the most devastating final words actors say to their co-stars. I think we have 3 more left on this one, and like I said, there's other segments of this if you enjoy this type of thing. I've done I think 3 or 4 earlier segments, so we've gone through quite a few actors, and people are really liking these, so I want to thank everybody for watching. This is my attempt to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours on YouTube so I can monetize my channel. So if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and then ring that bell notification, and you can be notified the next time I drop one of these articles, one of these segments. We want to close out this good with a nice one, probably the last one it will be, and then we'll search for another one of these articles. Brian Reads the News, I do quite a few of these, so if you like hearing about what's going on in the news and have an article that you want me to read, feel free to suggest one. I'm happy to get on screen and read it for you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.